Hey, this is my tier list for ranking Octopath Traveler 2's 8 main characters and their story arcs. There will be spoilers here, and if you haven't seen my video on Octopath Traveler 2, you might want to check that out. Okay, starting with Ochette, the beastling girl. So Ochette is officially classed as a hunter, but I consider her more of a Final Fantasy beastmaster. She's really fun to play. She can capture and tame beasts to then use in combat or turn them into meat.
Tasty stuff, huh?
I found it satisfying building up a nice collection of different beasts to tackle any combat situation. So story-wise, her arc revolves all around taming beasts. It very much has a Pokemon feel to it. You even have to choose your starter beast. I went with the owl for its elemental attacks. And I guess if this is Pokemon, that makes her teacher Professor Oak. Juvar the Lion. He's pretty awesome too. So Ochette's objective is to capture the 3 legendary beasts to help prevent the coming calamity, the Night of the Scarlet Moon. It's all epic. The legendary beasts look badass and it was genuinely awesome fighting and capturing them. I was originally only going to give this an A tier.
How dare you?
But going through it all now, this is S tier material. So there we go. Hey, I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to reach 1000 subs, so any help would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Next up, Partitio the Merchant. Partitio is probably the character that I had the lowest expectations for going in. The idea of playing a merchant doesn't sound that exciting, but he's the character that grew on me the most. He's always trying to be fair and looking out for the little guy, and his story escalates so much. By the end, you're battling evil corporations with steam-powered tank trains. I do really like how Partitio has these extra little optional side quests where you can outright buy a ship and sail the seas with it, or invest in jukeboxes, which are then available for use in bars across the game world. I'll say he's fun to bring along in combat too. You can use your money to hire help or mercenaries in the middle of combat. I think that's such a perfect ability for a merchant, and I made a lot of use of his ability to donate his battle points to other party members. I'm going to give him an A, but it's more like an A+. Osvald. Okay, Osvald is up there. Probably my second favourite character, so he's a family man and a scholar. But he's not your typical nerdy scholar, he's buff. He's happy to mug people and he builds up muscle to stay healthy and keep his mind sharp.
Indulge me for a moment. A week.
He's the character I felt the most empathetic towards. You know, he's lost his wife and daughter, betrayed by his partner Harvey, and he's wrongfully imprisoned for it.
We find you guilty of the murder of your wife and daughter.
Throughout his story, it turns out his daughter is still alive, and that bastard Harvey who betrayed him, he's claiming to be her father and using her in his research. He's real scum, so it's really satisfying putting Harvey in the ground. Osvald's daughter is left in the care of his assistant, with the promise that her real father will return to her soon. That is after he's finished helping the other main characters with their stories. Something about this just hit really hard for me, seeing Osvald checking in on her while she's asleep, and just Osvald being happy that even though she doesn't know who her real father is yet, she's following in his footsteps as a scholar. He's brilliant and he's got a great voice actor. S tier. Temenous. I've got to be honest, I struggled a little with this guy. Found him a little too snarky. It's probably a subjective thing.
Unbelievable.
So Temenous is a cleric who questions his faith, and his story involves solving the murder mystery around the dead pontiff. I thought Temenos' night buddy Crick was pretty cool. I was sad that he died, but he's able to provide a critical clue for the murder mystery just before his death. The story was decent. I just struggled a little to stay engaged with all the detective moments. But I will say I think the final boss design is incredible. I was getting Dark Souls or Bloodborne vibes from this. I love it. It's my favourite looking boss. He's gonna get a B. Cassti. She's a nice person. Cassti ended up being my preferred support character, and I made good use of her apothecary and axe skills. I respect her. So Cassti has lost her memories, and we try to retrace her steps and thoughts, all while helping and healing people along the way.
I need to rediscover who I am.
The apothecaries reminded me a little bit of Plague Doctors, and the final boss of Casti's story ended up being one of her crew that went full evil and donned full Plague Doctor gear. That boss really stuck in mind. He was a bitch to fight with all his detrimental status effects, and every turn the poisoned rain lowered your max health. That was brutal. But A for Cassti. Hikari. Hikari is the character I started the game with. kind of consider him to be the leader of my party. He was actually the main source of my damage thanks to his warrior support skill that lets him break the damage cap. But those big damage numbers over 9,000.
What, 9,000?
Hikari is a prince of Ku and his story is a strong one to start with. You're just in the middle of the chaos of a war, which is fun to experience. And in that same starting chapter we see his evil brother murder his father, the king, to claim that throne, setting you up on a quest to recruit an army and retake your kingdom, which ends up being epic and a pretty awesome series of bosses suitable for the warrior story. I felt like Hikari was a bit of a goody two-shoes, always going on about how he's here just for his friends, but I like that Hikari has a cursed dark side that balances him out. I just wish we saw a little bit more of that dark side throughout his story. I think he can just scrape an S, very nearly an A. Agnea. So like Temenous, I didn't connect with Agnea so much. I think both their stories are enjoyable, I just like the other stories a lot more. Being a dancer has its perks. She's definitely got the best ability to use in towns, while everyone else has to inquire, mug and barter to get items out of people. Agnea can just use it and treat, and townsfolk are happy to give her their belongings. She sounds like a Twitch streamer of this world. Just to be. Throné. Okay, Throné ended up being my favourite character, just purely for storytelling reasons, so going straight into S tier. Throné is brought up by the Black Snakes, a cult of corrupt thieves. I really like that her story involves assassinating the cult's leaders, mother and father. Each holds one of the two keys for her collar and freedom. This little arc of her story was awesome enough, but the story gets crazy when the keys don't work on her collar, and instead open a doorway in the Black Snake sewers, which leads to a hidden valley and Lost Seed. Lost Seed is a ghost town and broken down ruins. It's creepy, the residents are creepy, and the whole place is just oozing with atmosphere. One of my favourite places. At the end of Lost Seed, the antagonist is revealed. Claude. Probably my favourite of the 8 antagonists. He may not make an appearance until the very end of his story, but the seeds of his story have been hidden throughout. So he's immortal and he's been having lots of children throughout the decades, one of which is Throné. He wants to leave a powerful legacy and wants his strongest perfect child to end his immortal life. I just really enjoyed Throné's story. I think it's pretty well written, and when you look back on it you realise all the little sneaky story seeds planted throughout the journey, as in the antagonist's secret children. That is my tier list. Let me know who your favourite character or story is in the comments, and peace for now.